to everyone out there, anyone who's ever gotten a reading from me or watched one of my videos, this is my sincerest apology. I'm so sorry I have fooled you unintentionally. I have brought you into this conspiracy of lies that I've been a part of, so toxic for so long, but this ends now. Now we get to the truth of the matter. I need a new job. So if anybody's hiring, let me know. Hello, manic.mercurian here, and today I'm going to be reacting to a video disproving, or destroying in his words, astrology itself. So this will be exciting to see, to see astrology be destroyed in front of me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is manic.mercurian. I am a professional astrologer. I've been studying astrology for, it will actually be 10 years next month, so that's kind of exciting. But I am doing professional readings right now, so if you're interested in a personal reading or a relationship reading, whatever other kind of reading you can imagine, you can go to my website, www.manic.mercurian.net, for more information on all the services I provide. Or you can just email me to manic.mercurian@gmail.com. All of that information is in the description box below. But yeah, you might want to get a reading soon, because who knows, maybe I won't be offering them anymore once I find out astrology is just nonsense, apparently. That's what we're going to be looking at today. This video is called Destroying Astrology in Less Than 10 Minutes. It was posted over 3 years ago and it has over 400,000 views, so let's dive into it.
Did you know that apparently there are only 12 types of personality in the world? Well, if you didn't,
Okay, let's
then
stop
today...
there. So, bit of a rough start. So I guess he's implying that astrology says that there are only 12 personality types. So in this case, I have to stop. Apparently he's not destroying astrology, he's destroying sun sign astrology. So that's a different thing. I didn't know that, destroying sun sign astrology, like I could do that. Would I do that? No, because although sun sign astrology is, I understand, like, people think that that's all there is, and then that's why they're skeptical. But there's so much more to it than that. But even if you just combine your sun sign with your moon sign, that's 144 personality types. And then if you start taking into account your Mercury, Venus, Mars, your other planets, your aspects, your houses, that's what astrology is. It's not just 12 signs. Another reason why I don't shoot down sun sign astrology, let me say real quick before I continue, because sun sign astrology itself is shallow. There's not a lot you can really get from just sun signs, but it's a great start. So many people like myself start out with sun sign, and then go to moon sign, and then the other planets, and so on. So it's the gateway. It's like the beginning.
Well, if you didn't, then today you'll be in for a big shock.
Big
because
shock.
we're taking on one of the biggest tinfoil theories ever. Astrology.
Can I just stop this for a second? Can we look at his face? Like, his whole attitude and demeanor, he just looks pissed off. Like, can you imagine if this is your roommate, you come home, open the door to come home, and this is what you see? And, like, he looks like he's just about to, just beat me up or something. I don't know. Do you guys feel that? I'm just wondering, like, does astrologer hurt you? Like, is there something here? Like, what happened? I don't know.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of
Tinfoil
Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon Dan. Yes, if there is one conspiracy
Yay.
that is tolerated more than any other by the general public, it is astrology. Not to be confused with astronomy.
Wait, can we just stop? That's exactly what I was just saying. Tolerated by the general public. Like he makes it sound like astrologers are just like trying to cram this down his throat, and I'm just wondering, like, if they were doing that, they weren't doing a good job, because you apparently don't know about moon signs or anything else.
Astrology is basically where you make stuff up about your future based on the constellation that the sun was in on the day you were born.
Stop. Oh my god. Make stuff up? Like, that's not how I do it. I do it based on patterns. Like, I will look at, like, if we're talking about the future, as he says, or horoscopes and stuff, I will look at transits, and then I'll observe what happens. And especially with transits that repeat many times, like, you can look at what sign the moon is in, or phases with the moon, or different aspects that happen every year, for example. You can observe those and see kind of on your own. It's kind of, maybe that a lot of people would say that's not truly scientific, but that's my process. So I don't think it's just making stuff up. But
there are actually relatively famous people that do this for a living, and I'm here today to tell you that not only is it complete gibberish, but the whole concept was completely wrong from the very beginning. I thought it would be a good idea to take a look at one of YouTube's biggest astrologers. So when I saw a video from a Kelley Rosano about how to be successful...
is he really gonna tear apart Kelley Rosano? Because like she she's a nice lady. Leave Kelly alone. I don't listen to horoscopes anymore because I don't want them to influence my thinking. I want my horoscopes to be just my own and not influenced by anyone else because I know I will subconsciously copy people if I listen to other people. I don't want to do that. But years ago, I used to listen to forecasts a lot, and Kelley Rosano was definitely one of those go-to people. And for accuracy, I'd give her a solid B plus. Like her horoscopes were accurate for me a decent amount of the time. But she's just a nice lady. Leave her alone.
Or by using astrology, I simply had to take a look. But before we take a look at Kelly's video, we're going to bust the whole
Leave
of
her
astrology
alone.
wide open.
Okay.
The constellations were first devised over 2,000 years ago.
Stop. It was actually a lot more than 2,000 years ago. It was like many, many thousands of years ago. Western astrology has changed a lot over the centuries and the millennia. But Eastern astrology, Vedic astrology, has been around thousands of years, like maybe like pre-Ice Age type stuff.
And when it comes to the 12 signs of the zodiac, since that time there appears to be a slight problem. So the way that astrology works is your star sign is yours
Not
because
necessarily.
the
I already
sun was
know what
in
he's
that
getting at.
constellation on the day of your birth. So I was born on November the 19th, which makes me a Scorpio.
And that makes sense because Scorpios are cynical, right? Is it untrue? I don't know. There's certain signs I feel like believe in astrology less often. Taurus, Capricorn, Scorpio. I feel like are just cynical in general or pessimistic. They're suspicious. You know what I mean? So it's like, does that surprise me that he's a Scorpio? No. Sorry, I just had to say that.
Or does it? You see, the Earth is subject to a phenomenon called precession, which basically means that over tens of thousands of years, the Earth wobbles slightly on its axis. Now, what that means is that the stars do appear
Precessional
to
cycle.
change.
How does he know about the precessional cycle, but he doesn't know about like moon signs? You know what I mean? He knows this pretty advanced kind of topic. It must have circulated in some non-astrological circles because, you know, I don't know if all astrologers know about this. I know about it though. So
Positions very slightly over time, and in the 2,000 years since the constellations were devised, yep, you've guessed it, they have moved slightly and now appear in different positions than they used to. So what does that mean for your star sign? Well, using this piece of software, which allows me to go back in time, we can see that on the day of my birth, the sun was in Libra.
stop. You didn't have to use like software to do that. Like for instance, this is another thing. So not all astrology would be affected by this. I'm gonna let him finish and then I'll answer him.
What this means is that the sun was actually in the constellation next door to the one you think
Libra,
is your
yeah.
star sign. And quite tragically for you, if you follow astrology, then you've been reading the wrong star sign your entire life. Sorry about that.
Okay, I hate responding to this spiel because every now and then it circulates, like every few years or something. There'll be articles that spread around saying astrology is disproved and stuff. Okay, so not only does that not disprove astrology, but a lot of astrologers know about that already, like myself. And this brings me to the point that there are multiple kinds of astrology, not all of which would even be affected by this at all. Eastern astrology, sidereal astrology, they base things off of the actual stars, off of the constellations. So they would say that a person like him, like Simon Dan, would be a Libra. They would say your sun is over the Libra constellation, you're a Libra. There are people that practice astrology using systems like that, that literally use, you know, the sun was over that constellation, that planet was over that constellation, that's what it is, that's where the boundaries are. There are also Western astrologers like myself who do not do that, and who, you know, that's where he would have the beef with, I guess, because his beef doesn't apply to Eastern astrology at all, but it still would apply to Western astrology. So, with Western astrology, what he said is true. You know, I am a Virgo. I was not born with the sun literally over the Virgo constellation. It would have been over the Leo constellation. Things have moved almost neatly. I think it's almost 30 degrees. I think it's like 28 degrees or something. So it's almost neatly one sign since not the beginning of astrology, but the beginning of the system we currently use, which was about, I think it was a little over 2,000 years ago. That's because one what's it called? Well, like one age has moved on. I don't know if you've heard of Age of Aquarius or Age of Pisces, but This astrology was kind of reset at the transition between Age of Aries and Age of Pisces, and then now, since the Age of Pisces has concluded, now we are one sign off. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but it's based on this 26,000 year long cycle. So even what I'm talking about now points to how astrologers know about this. I mean, this is what the ages are actually based off of. Whatever sign this or constellation the sun is over at the first day of spring, that's what determines what age you are in. I don't know if I know I'm getting technical now, but for the last over 2,000 years, and I think for the next couple hundred years, if we want to get really technical, the sun will be over Pisces at the first day of spring, the first day the spring equinox. So that's what indicates that it's the age of Pisces. So I know getting a little bit off topic here, but okay, let me get back on topic here. So there's two kinds of astrology. There's the Eastern and sidereal astrologers that base things off the constellations, and Western astrologers actually base the signs not off the actual constellations, but off the seasons. So a Western astrologer like myself would say the sun is in Aries for the first 30 days after the spring equinox, basically. Because a Western astrologer like myself would say the signs have connections to the seasons, at least in the northern hemisphere. So, for instance, Aries is the first sign after spring. Aries is the initiator. Aries are the go-getters. They are bold. They are a little bit impulsive. They start things. They start the whole cycle. And I've noticed I come from a place that had very visible seasons, and I felt like these observations were very tangible. Virgos, like myself, are all about organization, and that kind of makes sense that they're into planning, preparing when they are the last sign of summer. They're preparing for fall. So I mean, there's still this kind of nature built into us, if that makes sense. So the precessional cycle is a part of astrology. It does not disprove astrology.
Okay, now that we've completely ruined astrology's credibility, I'm ready for my lesson with Kelley.
Leave Kelley alone! Poor Kelley. I wonder if she's seen this. She probably has.
Know when to launch using astrology.
I think she's a
And
Virgo
I'm
too.
Kelley Rosano.
I think she's on the cusp.
Why
actually,
I like to
Leo.
launch after new moon. New moons are a fresh start. They give you a new beginning.
It's a fresh start for the lunar cycle. That's about it.
Oh my god, who cares?
And
Even if she was wrong hypothetically, why does this guy have beef with her for that? I don't understand.
whenever we're going to start something new, launch a new product, launch a new service, start a new job, publish a book, publish music.
What's wrong with that?
We want to have the best energy around it. We want to use the best energy so that what we do brings us the results that we want, brings us the success that we want.
I've got no arguments with that, but why does it have to be when there's a new moon?
And why not use
Doesn't.
the astrology to help you do that? Now, that's not to
Yeah, why
say
not?
that there are not people launching successful projects, publishing successfully who don't use astrology.
So what you're saying is it doesn't really matter. Okay?
But those of you
No.
that do follow,
I think she's playing devil's advocate. So it's like she's just saying, if you want that extra, oomph behind what you're doing, you can kind of, get correlate what you're doing with the stars and things like that. But I mean, some people are successful and they don't do that. I'll give you a real quick example. So like the way our weeks are set up, don't always match up with astrology. Like we'll have the weekend when sometimes like that would have been the best time to be productive, or sometimes we have retrograde cycles where it's like you really need to rest, but we have to work our Monday through Friday 9 to 5. You know what I mean? So it's like you can just go against astrology and just be fine like that. You can make it work. But if you really want, that extra, the energy to be more behind what you're doing, then you can do it in line with astrology. That's how I took what she's saying. I don't took what she's saying as like, oh, it doesn't matter because some people don't do this and they can be successful.
follow me, you do
Why is
use
he so
astrology. So
angry?
let's use astrology to help you grow your business,
Yeah,
publish your
I
online
like it.
course, and make you more
Let's use
successful.
astrology.
But you just said it doesn't really matter. It's all sounding a
No,
bit
she didn't.
wishy-washy at the moment.
Ugh.
New moons are the best time to launch something new. Now, here's what a new moon looks like. You can't see it.
Great joke. So funny.
No, he's just attacking her humor. Like, what does it have to do with destroying astrology? She's a nice lady. She's just trying to help people. Like, she's just helping people be insightful or think about their lives. Like, like of all the people to attack, why would you be like, this? I'm gonna destroy astrology. Yeah, screw those rude, arrogant astrologers. You know what I was thinking? Like, Kelley Rosano is so nice, but I was thinking I think all the astrologers I know are really nice people. Like I don't understand the venomous kind of assault here. I don't.
And so that's why I don't recommend launching on the day of a new moon. I like to give it 24
Yeah.
hours, 48 hours, or longer.
Well, that's not the
Yes,
new moon anymore,
I
is
agree.
it? Come on, Kelly. You're really not
Stop.
helping.
It is the new moon though, cause like so. Okay, so right on a technical new moon, that's like the beginning. But at that point, the moon has no light, like Miss Rosano said. So that's like the very very beginning. That's when the idea for an invention comes to someone's mind. It's not when the invention is like implemented and fully developed and copyrighted. You know what I mean? It's when the first like inspiration comes. So it's etherical. It's not physical. Just like the moon isn't physical on a new moon. So I totally agree. When the moon starts getting when it becomes a crescent moon, you see night by night you see it becoming fuller, and that little sliver gets a little bit more girthier, more meatier. Um, that's when the new cycle really happens. And this really gets set in motion on the first quarter moon, which no one pays attention to, but it's such a big deal. That's when you'd really launch the thing. I think the first week between a new moon and the first quarter moon is really just kind of like planning something before you do it. It's like you have the idea for it, you have the intention, you just haven't like plunged and you haven't dived into the pool yet. You've just had the idea of like, oh, I want to go for a swim. You know what I mean? You haven't done it yet. So
You want to wait until the
be
moon
nice to
is
Kelley.
starting to show its crescent, when it's starting to show its light.
Yes, I agree.
Because on the new moon, it's like being in the womb.
Yes.
You can't see the new birth, you can't
Exactly.
see
Conception.
the new project, the new growth.
What? In the womb? Um, right.
It's an
You need to
analogy.
wait until there's light, the
It's an
beginning.
analogy, Dan. Come on.
And that comes hours after the new moon, days after the new moon. You begin to see,
Why did he
ah,
pick
we're
this
on a new
video
moon.
to
But it's
criticize?
because you've waited. Oh, bloody hell.
So I love new moons to launch something new because you're using the energy to propel you forward. You're using the energy to empower you to start something new and be successful.
Okay, so I need to use the energy from a kind of new moon that may or may not make a difference to my project to empower me to start something new that might or might not work.
Probably would make a difference.
Okay, I think.
So new moons go
Well,
hand
what
in
is his
hand
point?
with a new launch, a new beginning, a fresh
I don't think this is
start.
constructive. Maybe I'll just skip over this. I don't know.
Now here's an example of what a new moon looks like in an
Yeah, wheel
astrology
charts.
chart. And
Wait
this
a
is
minute. If Dan has clearly seen wheel charts such as this one he's looking at right now, but he still thinks everyone is just their sun sign, or he thinks
incredibly
that's what astrologers are saying.
powerful new moon that happens to also be a solar eclipse. We will be experiencing this in January. It will be the first eclipse in 2019. And this
I think
is
I remember that one.
where you can see the sun and the moon are coupled together in Capricorn.
That's a bit greedy of Capricorn, isn't it?
What is his point there? What are we even
That's what
talking about?
astrologers look
Come on,
at.
give me some.
That's
This is
what
too
we
easy. I want
study.
some
We
arguments. I
study
want some like.
charts
I want a
because it
debate
has
here. Give me
endless
something.
information
Give me some
in here.
evidence. Or something.
So when I'm not looking at the screen, when I do the monthly astrology or a new moon report or a full moon report or even the year ahead, I'm getting ready to do 2019, 2020. I'm looking at charts.
Yeah,
And when you
charts.
look at this chart, you can see, look at
Yeah.
this new moon sandwiched between
It's a big
Saturn
one.
in Capricorn,
Got a
and
Capricorn
Pluto
stellium there.
in
It's a big deal.
Capricorn.
And let me guess, that means if you're Capricorn, you will meet someone mysterious with the initial G, and luck will revolve around the number 6.
Okay, so I feel like he's kind of alluding to newspaper horoscopes now, which a lot of those are BS, and that's a point I want to make too. Like, there is a lot of bad astrology out there, and a lot of people who write horoscopes like that literally don't even believe in astrology. It's just kind of filler. So if we're talking about that, I don't. I'm an astrologer. I don't believe in those. I might read a newspaper horoscope for fun, but it doesn't. I'm thinking about reacting to those actually because a lot of them are just completely ridiculous. But that's not what Kelley Rosano is saying. So I don't get this. Like, if he wanted to react to that type of horoscope, why didn't he put that on the screen? But instead he put Kelley Rosano on the screen.
Do something positive at work, and you will reap the rewards.
It's not
Anyone
what she
can do
said.
it.
He's putting words in
Which
her
is
mouth.
all about achievement in the world, success, and business. So Capricorn has a role to play in your business, in your launches, in
True.
your
I get what she's saying. I mean, if you knew any Capricorns, like, they would have some stuff going on with them. They're on fire. They're starting something new. They're innovative. It's about them. The spotlight's on them since the eclipse is happening. So that's what I would. I mean, I don't know. That's now I'm just providing my interpretation of it.
success.
I don't know if that's
So
helpful.
if you were to launch, say, something new here in January, I would suggest that you wait until January 6th, January 7th, January 8th, and so
Yeah,
on
that week
to
after
do
the
your
eclipse.
launch.
Okay, I'm rapidly losing interest. She's literally making stuff up as
Not
she
true.
goes along. Let's move on a bit.
But your window of opportunity to launch will be from the new moon to the full moon.
Right, so now it's literally half a month. You can't make this stuff up, can you? Well, actually, you
So I
can.
don't think it's fair to say she's making it up because this is like general astrological knowledge. I would be more specific though, like to give him that point. I wouldn't say, oh, just begin it any time between the new moon and the full moon. Like I said, I would say, start planning, like get the idea, see what ideas come to you on the new moon, and then see how you can use that to like plan it out in that first week. And then I would say to start it on right around the first quarter moon, because that's when you get like action. Like, we need to do something, we need to change something, we need to get something going. Let's get energy. Like, we all feel this energy. People are riled up on a first quarter moon. That's why I always say, like, you gotta do something. You can't rest on a first quarter moon. So I don't think she's making it up. I feel like she's giving a good advice. I actually feel bad for giving her like a B plus rating earlier because I feel like she's pretty solid. I would be more specific though to give him that point.
Now, I want to say that there will never be a perfect time to launch.
True. Wait,
There's
wait, wait, wait.
always going
Let's
to be
stop it for one sec. This is where I'm saying, like, even hypothetically, if astrology had nothing behind it, which I think it very much does, but hypothetically, this is good advice. There's a lot of like good tidbits and nuggets in astrology that just have to do with kind of like philosophy and thinking about things and stuff, mindfulness. Like, there's never a good time to start something. Always, yeah, you push yourself to start something. Like, why is that? Why is what she's doing bad? Like, even if it was just BS, which I don't think it is, what is the point of attacking her? I don't understand.
So what was the point of the previous information in your video?
Ugh.
I think we've seen enough of Kelly's video now to see that astrology is a load of old cobblers.
What? I honestly thought he would have something better. I mean, the processional cycle is at least something. I definitely understand why people would think it would disprove astrology, so that's at least kind of respectable. I don't get why he chose that random video from Kelley Rosano. Like, I really think it was just at random. I don't know what kind of takeaway we were supposed to get from that particular video.
Please do not spend any time looking at it, and please do not act on
Are we
any
done?
advice given to you by an astrologer.
Is that
Right, that about wraps up another
Are we actually
Tinfoil
done now?
Tuesday. Really pleased to tackle
We're
this
done
one. It's another
already?
one of my bugbears. The other biggie for me is psychic mediums, and I'll be tackling them in a
Ooh.
big way soon. Thank you all for watching.
psychic mediums? That's a good idea. I could cover that. I mean, I'm not a psychic medium, I wouldn't say, but a lot of them are full of it. Like, I think that's what's so sad about this stuff. That like, with astrology and psychics and stuff, like there are a lot of people out there that are just making stuff up, or they're using the shallowest form of astrology or whatever it is. So it's like I'm not denying that. It is too bad. It gives astrology and all this different, metaphysics, gives it a bad name, which is really unfortunate. But that doesn't make it all bad. So I think we're
Please,
done.
please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed that.
Like and
I have been
subscribe.
Simon Dan. Have yourselves a great week, and I'll see you all on Friday, where the Patreon voted video winner gets looked at.
That was
See you all then.
almost a smile at the end. I feel like I just got out of like a class with a really kind of depressed professor or something. He just was so negative. I don't understand why. I hope I wasn't too negative in this video, but it was. I don't know. I don't know how I feel now. I was expecting that to feel more confrontational because I actually don't like confrontation, but I'm actually disappointed. I think I like hyped myself up for it, and then now I'm like, oh, it was just the processional cycle and then criticizing one of Kelley Rosano's videos. Well, if you like that, like it and subscribe if you want. And I think at this point I am going to continue doing readings because I've heard some, not to toot my own horn, but people who I've asked say they'll give me a 90 to 100% accuracy rating. Most of my readings are about an hour long of just me talking. Me talking through a video just by myself, talking like I am now, talking for a whole hour, and I get over 90% accuracy. So, am I going to continue doing astrology? Yes, because honestly, I didn't learn anything. He didn't talk about anything I didn't already know about before. And I'm honest with you guys. Like, if I hear something new, I would want to be open to that. But it's sad that not everyone is like that. So, anyway, I hope you found that at least not totally aggravating like I did. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.